flee blue states to come to Florida, but I think they're also viewing Florida as a refuge from the Biden regime and what they're doing in Washington every day. And I think Biden's failures need to end up being the swan song for what the late Angelo Codevilla called the ruling class in this country. He saw this probably before anybody, but he was right on the money. This ruling class is a toxic combination of managerial incompetence and cultural radicalism. They have led this country through a generation of policy failures, and that's probably partially because of their ideology. They consider themselves globalists and citizens of the world. They reject national sovereignty and the importance of having borders. That's why what you're seeing at the southern border is really not incompetence on Biden's part. It's intentional on Biden's part, because the ruling class fundamentally doesn't believe that we have a right to control our own territorial sovereignty. If you look at the foreign policy blunders that we've seen in the last generation, we emerged from the Cold War the strongest country in the history of the world. On September 11th, no one had ever been anywhere close to what America was. But if you look since then, if you look at the quagmire that was Iraq, which is a war that I served in, if you look at escapades like Libya, if you look, of course, at the disastrous culmination of the Afghanistan conflict, our country, because of the failure of these ruling elites, we stand here poorer, weaker, and more humiliated than at any time in my lifetime. We look to be rivaled by China in ways that we would not have even imagined 30 or 40 years ago. This ruling class has done more to elevate China than any other group of Americans. They were the ones pushing for China to be in the WTO, to grant them most favored nation status. They were instrumental in eroding our own industrial base here in the United States, and that has caused our supply chains to be vulnerable to the whims of the Communist Party of China.